Hello everyone. Chessroad starts to present the instructional chess videos about chess endings, starting from very basic endings and starting from the material that every beginner has to know, has to start with. When you reach a position where your opponent has lost everything but his king, which of course cannot be captured, it's a must to know what material you will need to force a checkmate. On the other hand, you can save many poor positions by leaving your opponent with an insufficient amount of mating material when you are the one with the long king. Clearly, a knowledge of what can or cannot mate versus long king is extremely important. Queen can provide checkmate. Two rocks can provide checkmate. One rock can provide checkmate. Two bishops can provide checkmate. Bishop and knight can provide checkmate. Pawn cannot, unless it can successfully promote. Bishop cannot. Knight cannot. Two knights cannot. Let me repeat that list all over again. Queen can provide checkmate against long king. Two rocks can provide. Rock can provide. Two bishops can provide. Bishop and knight can provide. Pawn cannot unless it successfully promote. Bishop cannot. Knight cannot. Two knights, unfortunately, also cannot. Let's now consider the most frustrating and unfair situation from the list. Two pieces up and white cannot win against proper defense. How is that possible? Let's take a look. Here you can see that white declared a check by using knight from f6. Now the situation is, if black moves king h8, then white successfully delivers checkmate, playing knight f7 checkmate. But black is not obligated to go to h8. Instead, black plays king f8 and no checkmate here. The first thing that must be understood is that white only has a chance to deliver mate in this endgame if black's king willingly steps onto a corner square. In this position on a board, black king is not obligated to go to that corner square. So if black avoids going to corner square, then white will never be able to force mate. In other words, black can only get mated if he blunders. And this is the advice. When defending a king versus two knights endgame, as long as you avoid a1, h1, a8 or h8, any corner square, you will draw the game. So, critical squares a1, h1, a8, h8. If black avoids those squares, white will never be able to checkmate black. Let's now consider the situation when the strongest side has queen and how to deliver a checkmate here. So first of all, you have to understand that technically checkmate is not deliverable in the center of the board. You have to maneuver your queen the way the black king goes to the edge of the board. So the simplest technique is to have the queen placed on a distance of knight's move. For example, queen c4. So take a look. First of all, you will see that the distance between queen and black king is exactly the distance of knight's move. Now, for example, black doesn't want to go to the corner of the board, and it plays king f5, for example. Then you follow the rule: queen d4, king g5, queen e4. Now, if black king goes here on h5, then you will play queen f4, keeping the same distance, like I said, of knight's move. Now black has to go, actually black has the only square to go to, g6. Then you continue doing the same thing, queen e5. Now if black plays king h6, then white plays queen f5, and the situation will be the same as the situation on the previous move. So what happens if black decides to go to some other road? Then, for instance, king f7, then you do the same exactly thing. You place your queen on the same distance. King g8, for example, queen e6, king h7, queen f6, king g8, queen e7, king h8, and now the move queen f7 would be the blunder or terrible mistake, because if queen goes to f7, it means that the black king has no squares to go and doesn't have a check, and according to the chess rules this position will be drawn. Okay, but white, instead of playing queen f7, which would be terrible mistake like I said, white plays king f4, king g8, king g5, king h8, king g6, king g8, and now checkmate. For example, queen g7, or if you wish you can deliver that kind of checkmate, queen e8, checkmate. Let's now consider the ending with two rocks against long king. So take a look at the position on the board. Basically, the rule is the stronger side should push the opponent's king towards the edge of the board, since when it's there, it can no longer step backwards. So the plan is to take files or ranks away from the enemy king while pushing it towards the side of the board, and keep your rocks as far away from the black's king as possible. So for example, rook e1 check, king d3. If king goes to f3 instead, you might, and you actually need to play rook g8, following the rule to have your rocks as far away from the king as possible. And then king f2, for example, rook e7, again following the same rule, and then king f3, rook gf8, not allowing the black's king to escape, and then, for example, king g4, rook g7, king h5, and rook h8, checkmate. Let's get back to the previous position, when black's king goes to d3 instead. Again, rook g8, and then we have to see where the king goes. For example, if it goes attacking the rook on if it goes to d2, attacking the rook on e1, then the same rule applies here. Rook e7, as far as possible from the enemy king. Okay, king d3, rook d8, king c4, rook c7, king b5, rook b8, now king a6. So we have black's king on the side of the board. That was our initial goal. Now all you have to do is just play rook c1, and if he goes king a7, then rook b2, for example, and no matter where the king goes, the move rook c1 to a1 follows, and this is checkmate. So that's the basic idea of the matching the opponent's king using two rocks. Let me finish that video at this point, and in the next video we will take a look at how to checkmate the enemy's king if you have only one rock, and then we'll be taking care of the endings like two bishops against a king and bishop and knight against the king, and that way pretty much all the openings, all the endings will be covered. All the basic mating endings will be covered, and we will move forward. So thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned, and see you next time. Bye bye.